So today we will start with the relational model. So in this lecture we will cover the conceptual foundation of relational model. What are the concepts behind this model, and we will understand how relations are differ from the non-relational tables. Then we will learn basic relational terminology. Then we will learn the meaning and importance of the keys, foreign keys, and some related terminology. Then understand how foreign key represent the relationships. So first of all, what is a relationship?
एंटिटीज दे विच सर
सर जो दो एंटिटीज के बीच में बताता है कि इनमें रिलेशन क्या है, ये कैसे रिलेट होंगे एक दूसरे के साथ.
ठीक है, that is the concept that is in our minds, है ना? But it is basically a mathematical term. In terms of mathematics, set theory तो पढ़ी हुई है सारे ने? Everybody know about set?
Yes, sir.
है ना?
Yes,
So
sir.
what is a set?
collection of
Collection
same
of similar
entities.
data.
Collection of
Similar
entities.
data. Related.
okay. So suppose I have a set M, which is basically set of all men in the world. That is M1, M2 up to Mn. Okay. And set of all women. W1, W2 up to Wn. Okay. Set theory पढ़ी हुई है तुसी?
Yes, sir.
Do you have basic idea about set theory?
हाँ जी हाँ जी
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then I want to multiply M with W. Cross product. That is basically called cross product. So how you will create the cross product? This means M1 will be multiplied by W1. M1 will be multiplied by W2 and so on. M1 will be multiplied by Wn. Agree?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है? That means M1 is multiplied by M1, M2 up to Wn. Then M2 with W1, M2 with W2 up to Wn. Next line ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਲਿਖਾਂਗੇ M2 W2 M2 W2 then M2 W1 then M2 W2
W2.
ठीक है? Then M2 Wn up to Wn. In the same way we will continue Mn W1 Mn W2 and continue Mn Wn. Agree? So we will create a new set by cross product M and W. ठीक है? इतना क्लियर है ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
किसी को कोई डाउट होवे? So cross product, I hope that everybody knows about the cross product. In the cross product we will multiply each element of set 1 with each element of set 2 and we will create a new set. So result of this multiplication is basically a new set. Now what is relationship? So if we restrict, if we put some constraint on this particular set cross product, that if we define a relationship like a relationship between husband and wife, okay, M1 and W1 are husband and wife, then this means some of the combination are not possible in this case. If M1 is married to W1, then M1 cannot be married with W2 and M1 cannot be married with W1. Similarly, if M2 is married with W3, then all other combinations are irrelevant. Got my point?
1 to 1 okay
समझ आ रही है गल के नहीं?
Yes, sir.
From all these combinations, only few combinations will remain, which are valid as per the constraint. So if we put the constraint that M and M cross W is a set which represent the relationship of marriage, then most of the combination will be removed and only few of the combination will be valid combination. So then what we will left behind, that is basically a subset of this cross product. So that is called subset of M cross W. So it is written as this one. R is relation is a subset of M cross W. Got my point? समझ लग रही है इतने तक?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
समझ लग गई ना? तो मैं नेक्स्ट पेज पे चलता हूँ. देखो, assume that we have a set of men. now ये सारी थ्योरी है. Assume that we have a set of men M and a set of women W, some of whom are married. We want to express which men in M are married to which woman in W. So one way to do that is by listing the set of pairs MW. So this is basically set of pair MW. So M1, W1, M2, W2, all these are the set of pairs, such that with condition that M is a man and W is a woman and M is married to W. So the relation married to can be represented by a, now this is a key point, subset of the Cartesian product of M cross W. So this is a mathematical definition of got my point? This is the mathematical definition of what? A relation. So this is the mathematical definition of a relation. So what is the mathematical definition? A relation R from a set A to set B will be understood as a subset of the Cartesian product of A cross B. That is, R will be represented by R subset A cross B. So if an element A belongs to set A is related to element B belongs to set B, we often write R A or B instead of A B belongs to R. तो अपन लिखते हैं A or B. A or B means A is related with B instead of A comma B belongs to R. इस तरह लिखने की बजाय अपन इस तरह लिखते हैं A or B. So got my point? So this is relation in terms of mathematics, in terms of set theory. Now what is an entity? So entity is a something of importance to a user that need to be represented in a database. So relation की कहानी से clear होगी? रिलेशन क्लियर है ना?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, रिलेशन बहुत मैथमेटिकल टर्म है जिदे उत्ते अपने को रिलेशनल अलजेब्रा आना है नेक्स्ट इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर्स. रिलेशनल अलजेब्रा विल बी देयर बेस्ड अपॉन दिस मैथमेटिकल थ्योरी बिकॉज इट इज बेस्ड अपॉन मैथमेटिकल थ्योरी. तो जितने भी टेबल्स हैं वो सारे इस थ्योरी पे बेस्ड है. जितना भी रिलेशनल डाटाबेस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम है एवरीथिंग इज बेस्ड अपॉन दिस पर्टिकुलर थ्योरी. तो एक छोटा सा कांसेप्ट है जिन्हों समझना बहुत जरूरी है. तो व्हाट इज रिलेशन? इट इज बेसिकली अ सबसेट ऑफ द कार्टेशियन प्रोडक्ट ऑफ टू सेट्स. टू सेट्स की ने इत्थे हुण these two sets are basically representing entity set. So entity set, for example, set A and set B. Set A consists of all the men, set B will consist of all the women. Now what is a man? What is a man? Man is basically an entity. What is woman? That is also an entity. So it is relationship between the two entities. So an entity is something of importance to a user that needs to be represented in a database. So an entity represents one theme or one topic. So if an entity relationship model in a model, entities are restricted to things that can be represented by a single table. So in ER model, when you are representing an entity, that entity will be represented by a single table in the relational model. So from the ER model, you will create the relational model. In relational model, everything will be treated as a table. Everything will be represented in the form of tables. So a relation is a two-dimensional table. In fact, जब अपन relational database की गल करते हैं, then that same relation, which is basically a subset of a Cartesian product of two sets, that thing can be represented with the help of a table. So there are other ways also to represent that particular subset, but the most convenient way is the table. So relations are generally called tables. ठीक. सो ये नहीं है कि रिलेशन ਨੂੰ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਟੇਬਲ ਹੀ ਨੇ. ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ, ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੈਥਡ ਹੈ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਬਟ ਮੋਸਟ ਜਨਰਲ ਵੇ ਇਜ਼ ਦਾ ਟੇਬਲ. So most obvious way is the table. So relation is basically a two-dimensional table that has some specific characteristics. The table dimension, like a matrix, consists of rows and columns. So these are the characteristics of relation. Rows contain data about the entity. Rows contain data. Columns contain the data about the attributes of the entity. So rows contain data about entity and column contain the attributes. जिन्ने भी अपना entity से attribute think करांगे, जिन्ने भी उन्होंने दे attribute सोचांगे, all those attributes will become column in case of relational database. So cells of a table hold a single value. So this is again the value of some attribute will be stored in a cell. All entries in a column are of the same kind. All entries in a column. So if column, for example, if my column is name, then all the entries will be of string type. You cannot add the integer type values. If my column name is age, and then all the entries will be of integer type. So you cannot add string values in the age column. So all entries in a column are of the same kind. Each column has a unique name. So there will be no two columns having the same name in the same table. So this is restricted here. So each column has a unique name. The order of columns is unimportant. Any column can come at the first. So order of rows is also unimportant. Order of column is also unimportant. And no two rows may be identical. This is also similar to, as two columns may not have the same name. In the similar way, no two rows may be identical. There should be some value, at least one value, which will be different in two different rows. So order of rows, order of column, all these are unimportant in case of because all this comes from the set theory. And in the set theory, if you read the definition of a set, it is unordered collection of item. Unordered means there is no ordering. So in the similar way, for the columns and rows, same definition applies, because relationship is basically a subset. So it is a subset of some Cartesian product of some two entities. So because it is also a set, so that means ordering is not important in this case also. So all the columns and all the rows, they are not ordered in any table by definition. But when you implement the things, in a hard disk or in the computer system, then ordering is there. There is some order that is followed. The ordering of the column as well as ordering of the rows is there, because when you are storing the data on the tracks, so you have to store something at the first location. So जब first location they store कितना, then you have to store at the second location, then you have to store the third location. So ordering is there by default, but mathematically that ordering does not matter. Then this is example of a sample relation. You can see we have three columns: employee number, first name and last name, and every column cells of the table hold the every column has a unique values. So there is a column that is employee number, which has a unique values 100, 101, 104, 107. So these values will not be repeated. So because this is basically a primary key of this particular table, and first name and last name. So ordering of this particular column is not matter. Ordering of a column does not matter. Ordering of rows does not matter. Any row can come at the first position, any row come at the last position, and all the values are of same type. Employee number, all the values are integer. First name, all the values are of string type. Last name, all the values of string type, and so on. So this is basically a sample relation. This is example of non-relational table, because cells of the table hold the multiple values. So every cell in a relation must contain only one value. So if you put multiple values in a single cell, then you violate the conditions of a relation. So no relation can hold multiple values in a single cell. So if you create such kind of table, then these are not called relational tables. So these are non-relational tables. Similarly, if you have if you enter two rows having the same data, then again, as per the rule, a relation cannot have more than two rows, two or more than two rows having the same data. So this violates the rule, and no two row may be identical. That's why it is also a non-relational example. There are some terminologies. These are some synonyms like table, also known as file or data file, also known as relation. So all these are the same thing. Whether you call it table, whether you call it data file, whether you call it a relation, this is one and the same thing. Rows, also known as record, also known as tuple. So tuple, record, row, all these are the name of same thing. Then column, field, attribute, all these are the name of same thing. So all these are same. They are used interchangeably in the literature. Some books called attribute, some books called field, some books called column. In the similar way, some books called rows, some book called a record, some book write it as a tuple. So different terminologies are there in the book that are going on. So you must be aware of all these terminologies, that tables and relations are same thing, rows and tuples and record are same thing, column and field and attributes are same thing. Then comes the concept of key. So key is the one or more column of a relation that can be used to identify a row. So key is a value, basically it is the name of the column. Key, what is the key? It is just the name of the column. Which column? The column which can be used to identify a row. How it can be used to identify a row? Because its values are unique. So there will be no duplicacy. For example, if I am going to store the data of student, then name of the student, age of the student, class of the student, all these are the attributes and makes the column in the table. So if I say that I can identify any student from the name, it is not possible. For example, if I say Amit, so maybe in a class there are two or more person having the same name, having the name Amit. So it is not possible to uniquely identify which Amit by just looking upon the name. So this kind of field which has no unique value, this field cannot be used for identifying the rows uniquely. So we need a row, we need a column that can be used for identifying uniquely. So that column is called key. So sometimes single column can identify, for example, roll number in case of student. So roll number, if I know the roll number only, then I can identify any student. So that means roll number is a single column, and a single column can be capable of identifying any row uniquely. But sometimes single column is not sufficient. You have to combine two or more columns. So key can be a combination of one, two or more columns, which the main property is that it can be used for identifying any row in the table. So accordingly, we have two kind of keys. One is unique key, another one is non-unique keys. So unique keys means, so every key has a uniqueness property. Uniqueness means it can be used to identify any row uniquely. So data value is unique in each row. So if it is unique key, then the data value is unique, and consequently the key will uniquely identify a row. So if the data value may be shared among the several rows, that means more than one row has the same value, then this kind of key will identify the this kind of values cannot be used to identify any row uniquely, and consequently the key will identify a set of row. If I say Amit, so if in my table there are two rows having Amit, then the result will be those two rows. So I cannot identify a unique row from the name itself. So this means this is the property of uniqueness that should be there in every key. Then keys can be compound. Compound means they consist of more than one attribute to uniquely identify an entity occurrence. So more than one attributes are there, then it is called compound key. So generally keys of a relation are compound key. For example, student and course, these are the two entities, and enrollment is a relation. So student has a unique key, student number, course has a unique key, course number, but to represent the relation we have to combine the keys. We have to combine the column from student as well as from course, and this makes the key of a relationship. So when you create a table for the relationship, so you have to use the compound key. You have to combine the keys from the two different entities. So these entities are the participating entities in that particular relationship. So for example, enrollment relationship, participating entities are students as well as course. So these two, we will collect the primary key from the student, we will get the primary key from the course, and combine these two keys to make a compound key for the relation enrollment, to represent the relation enrollment. So composite key is a key that contain two or more attributes. One or more attribute which makes up the key are not a simple key in their own right. For a key to be unique, often it must become a composite key. So sometimes we don't have any column which has a uniqueness property, so we have to combine two or more columns to create the uniqueness property. Only then and if we combine the two columns, then it becomes composite key. So this is example of composite key. Suppose you have a database holding your CD collection. One of the entities called tracks, which hold the detail of the tracks on a CD, and this has a composite key of CD name and track number. Now this is again for the weak entity, because track is a weak entity. It cannot exist by itself. It is dependent upon the CD. So if CD exists, only then track can exist. So if track is a weak entity, then you have to combine the key attribute of CD along with the attribute of track to make a composite key. So there are a lot of situations where you need to combine two or more columns to create the composite key. Then comes the candidate key. Now all the columns that has property of uniqueness, they can be candidate keys, because there are the chances that some table may contain two or more columns that have the same uniqueness property. For example, for vehicle, we have a chassis number, engine number you can say, or we can have a registration number also. So both are unique. Chassis number or engine number is also unique for every vehicle, and registration number is also unique for every vehicle. So we have two different columns that have a property of uniqueness. Now we can use both of these columns to identify any row uniquely, but so that makes the candidate key. Both are now candidate. So candidate key is called candidate because it is a candidate to become a primary key. So a candidate key is basically a unique key that can identify any row uniquely. So it can, any of the key from the candidate key can become a primary key. So we can select any key. One key can be selected as a primary key, one column can be selected as a primary key, and another column will be known as alternate key. So we have two different terminologies based upon the candidate key. One is primary key, another one is alternate key. So the candidate key which is selected as a primary key will become the primary key, and the left behind candidate key will be known as alternate key. So primary key is a candidate key. So it is also a candidate key that is chosen to be a main key for the relationship. So that is chosen to be a main key by the programmer or by the designer. So then it is called primary key. So if you know the value of the primary key, you will be able to uniquely identify a single row in a table. Then a table may be related to each other because we are representing the relationships. So it is the main concept behind a relational model or a ER diagram. We have entities as well as relationships. To represent the entities, we will create the table, and to represent the relationship, again we have to create the table. But sometimes we can represent the relationship between the two tables by using the primary key of one table and adding it adding it into the another table. So table may be related to the other table. Just for example, an employee works in a department and manager controls the project. So these are the relationship. Employee is working in a department and manager is controlling the project. So these are the examples of the relationship, and this can be represented with the help of a foreign key. So to preserve the relationship, you may need to create a foreign key. So what is a foreign key? Foreign key is a primary key from one table that is placed into another table. So a key is called a foreign key in the table that received the key. So it is a primary key in the one table, but when added into another table, in the another table, it is called foreign key. So for example, these are the two tables. One is a project table and another one is a manager table. So project ID is the primary key here. Manager ID is the primary key in the manager table. And if I add the manager ID into the project table, then it becomes foreign key here. So here it is treated as a foreign key. So it is a primary key in the manager table, and it is a
Foreign key.
Foreign key in department
foreign key in a project table.
project.
So got my point. So it is a very simple concept, but बहुत सारे बच्चे इनको confusing समझते हैं. But think about this, कि foreign key is basically a primary key in some other table. So in some table it is primary key, in another table it is a foreign key. So foreign, why we need to add the foreign key? Because we want to represent the relationship. So by adding the primary key of one table into another table, we are basically creating a relationship between the tables. So in the similar way, in the department ID is the primary key, and if we add that department ID into the employee table, then it will called foreign key
Foreign
in
key.
that particular table.
Foreign key.
So primary key in the one table will be called foreign key in the another table. Got my point? So we have different
Yes,
kind of keys. Based upon the concept of foreign key, we have a concept of referential integrity. So referential integrity means referential stand for reference. So we are referring to some values. So referential integrity states that every value of the foreign key must match a value of an existing primary key. So if the primary key is not existing, then you cannot add the foreign key in the table. For example, in this case, if the department in this table, I have entries of department 101, 102. So I have three departments, suppose 102, 103 and so on. But in this table, I enter the value 104. Now value 104 is not exist in this particular table. So this violates the referential integrity constraint. Referential integrity says that you can add the values in the as a foreign key. Only those values can be added which are existing as a primary key in some other table. If the value is not existing in any other table, then you cannot add that value as a foreign key. Instead of adding this here, you can add the null value. You have to put the null value here, but you cannot put the value 104 because 104 is not existing in this particular table. So that is your referential integrity. This states that every value of foreign key, every value, I am talking about value, every value of foreign key must match a value of an existing primary key. If the employee ID 4 in an employee has a department ID 7, a department with department ID 7 must exist in the department. Otherwise, this thing is not possible. So a primary key value must exist before a foreign key value is entered. So this is called referential integrity, and your database management system enforce you to use the implement the referential integrity. If you try to do this kind of task, if you try to violate the referential integrity, your value will not be entered, and the DBMS system will not allow you to enter the value in the table.